My name is Violet Olszyk, and I was one of the producers for Steven Spielberg and the Return to Film School. Well, Josh and I had been friends since our first day at Cal State Long Beach, and we'd worked on lots of projects together over the years. And about 2 years before we produced this, Josh had pitched the idea to me as a short film, and I immediately thought it would be a good idea. It was so funny. So I just was helping him throughout development and through pre-production, and so I ended up as a producer. It was originally going to be a kind of a slapstick comedy kind of thing with just he and I just kept coming up with all kinds of jokes, and eventually we realized that in order for it to be a good film, it needed some depth to it, some more depth than just, you know, haha, Steven Spielberg's holding a boom mic, even though that joke still remains in the movie. It needed something else, and so it took so many different directions to find where its true heart was, and I think it ended up in a good spot, you know, with Steven's struggle to figure out who does he need to please. Josh had gotten a few actors to come in, and they were okay. None of them had the spark that Josh was looking for. And I was there when we did cast Robert Lahr, and I was actually in the room and I was reading with him, and that was a lot of fun. I remember being very impressed with him. I saw some of the other men who were coming in to audition, and they looked good and everything, but I remember being in that audition, and he had something special. He really captured what we were trying to go for. So that was a very long process, but we eventually found him, and we got really lucky with Robert. That was a fun week. That was definitely a fun week. The crew was great. The cast was so wonderful to work with. We got so lucky. We had such a good cast. Robert, Willow, Dennis, everyone was just awesome. We had some struggles. There were some times when it was tough. Time constraints every so often, but everyone brought out their best, and it turned out great. Josh is an interesting person to work with. He's very energetic. He's very driven. Josh always has so many good ideas, and he definitely knows film, and so it's always really great to work with Josh. He's a very good person. It was really nice to see him working on something that he was so passionate about and he'd been working so hard on. I would not have enjoyed making it as much if it was somebody else making it, and I don't think anyone else would have done as good a job. Steven Spielberg, when I was really little, he was my inspiration for film. I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to make movies like him. I loved Jaws. I loved Hook. Learning more about him as I worked on this project, he's definitely not just a great filmmaker, but he's also a good man, and he's definitely someone who deserves admiration.